What up, nation? Welcome to another edition of the Wise Take MLB DFS Wise Stream. CK013 here. You can find me on Twitter at CK_013. And I am joined once again by the GOAT, the true OG, that y'all should know is Paulie D. You can find him on Twitter at Paulie with 8 Ds. For those who don't, Paulie was happening.
What's happening, baby?
Another day, another dollar. It was a little weird not having a full NBA slate, but, you know, was what it was. Dirty will be dirty. You know, we're back at it tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Short and long. Getting used to this double sport thing, man. I'm getting spoiled. Having a sweat during the day while you're doing baseball research. I've been itching all day. You know what I mean?
I know.
With the itchy face.
Yeah.
Could be because my beard's long, but I got the itchy face. You know what I'm saying? All day. But definitely excited to get on here and talk some baseball with you. We got football right around the corner. Going to be dropping our NFL package. The full price is already up on the site. We're going to be dropping a little promo deal, so make sure you guys are paying attention and following us on Twitter at @wise_take. Though we will present it on one of the shows, but make sure you get in early. We're going to put it out within either tonight or tomorrow or something like that. But NFL's around the corner, man. September 13th. It's week 1, son, and we're going to have a lot more time to focus on that shit because we're not going to have basketball in full swing. So I'm fucking pumped, bro.
Fucking pumped, bro.
That's it. I'm pumped like Humpty. You know what Humpty I'm talking about? Humpty Dumpty, motherfucker. Do something.
Do
it's on.
The dance.
It's
dance.
on.
Humpty dance.
Fucking right.
On and.
Fucking right.
On to doing dirties all day with my life.
Doing dirties with your life. That's what the Wise Take Nation next generation is going to be saying to their parents. What are you doing? What do you want to do with your life? I'm going to do dirties with my life.
Yeah.
That's what every parent's going to want to hear that. Yeah. Oh, God.
As I walk through the valley in the shadow of dirty.
I love it. We've got a pretty big slate. Pitching very, very deep. We've got a lot of, at least up top, right? Stud wise, it's fucking deep. It's deep, it's long, it's hard. And because it's such a big slate, we do have a lot of different bat spots that we can try out and see how things go. So it should be a fun one, man. As always, we get to the point. That's what we heard, people like about our baseball show is we get right to the point. So after the nonsense in the beginning, as we get warmed up, we're gonna bring it to you hard and long. And first up, we're going to talk about some pitching. So, spend up should take us the longest because there's a lot of guys to consider, Paulie. Who are the guys that you're zoning in on in terms of spend ups?
I mean, I do really like the guys up top. Shane Biebs, kid's been balling out of control. Not sure if he'll be too popular or not because it is a pretty deep pitching slate, as you mentioned. But man, he's been good, and Minnesota has not been as good as last year. The home runs have come way down. They're dealing with a couple of injuries, and good pitching usually wins out. So I'm cool with him, and I do like Garrett Cole against the struggling Braves, who've had a ton of strikeouts. There are some weather concerns there, so pay attention. It looks like they're both going to play out. I kind of lean Bieber, but I do like both. Julio Urias, I think, is worth a look, but just not cheap enough off of Cole and Bieber, I think, to really consider. Tyler Chatwood, I do, think is a changed man and is a good pitcher, but we saw when he was hurt, he was very hittable, but I think this is a spot to go back to him at very low ownership. I guess that's it. Above 9K, it's really Bieber, Cole, and Chatwood for me.
So it's a tough one for me, man. I like a lot of these guys. So in cash games, I think you go with Cole, right? In my opinion, he's got the highest floor. He's got a matchup that does present a lot of strikeouts. The Braves are one of the top teams in strikeouts this year. As far as tournaments, knowing that he's going to be popular, knowing that the Yankees like to be a certain way with their pitchers, I think Cole and Boone have already gotten into it about Cole wanting to stand longer and Boone saying, no, that's not how we do things here. I don't know what's going to win out. I don't know if I'm sure they've had a conversation. Is Cole going to start getting what he wants, or is Boone going to say, nah, that's not how we do things in Yankee land? He's shaved, so he's already committed to one. So I'll have Cole, but with him being so popular, I am curious in trying out some of these other guys. I think Giolito's interesting. He carries the most risk, in my opinion, and he's the one that I want, but I want the least because I think his floor is probably the lowest of a lot of these studs. And then you got Luis Castillo against Milwaukee, another very high strikeout team. Last night, Milwaukee hit Bauer a little bit, but Bauer still had a pretty decent outing and still struck out a ton of them. As he wrote, did you see what he did? He wrote Bud into the pitcher's mound, and I guess Budweiser had challenged him or something to get a certain amount of strikeouts and a win or something. So after he reached the milestone, he wrote Bud with his cleats into the mound and then pretended to crack a beer and drink it or some shit. It was a very Trevor Bauer thing to do. But I'm assuming because it was Miller Park, that's why they had him do that, right? Like, isn't Bud and Miller? Isn't that like a beef in the streets? You know what I mean? Or this, But yeah, exactly. So I am interested in Luis Castillo. He obviously is another one that doesn't have as high as a floor, but we do know he's got the ceiling. The park is not great, so I'm a little more torn. I will have Bieber the most, I think, of this bunch because I just trust him the most. Like you said, he's just been on fire. Even when the Twins were good last year, he had some good games against them, and I'm not saying they're not good. They're still not striking out a lot. But Bieber is an exceptional fucking talent, man. This guy is good. He's just really fucking good. So I'll have a healthy exposure of Bieber, Cole, and then after that, a secondary tier of Luis Castillo. Chatwood is the one that I'm leaving out because you can't play everyone. But I'm honestly, because it's the Tigers, I'm afraid of not having Chatwood. We just saw that Alec Mills kid who had like a fucking 7% swinging strike rate just destroy the Tigers last night. So I have some concerns there about not having enough of him. Either way, I definitely think you can make a strong case in pitching both of these and finding two studs, looking for 230s, or if you're on FanDuel, looking, it's a little different. You only got to pick one. But on DraftKings, I do believe in, fucking grabbing two of these guys up top and just going to war and finding some cheap-ass bats if you can. I'm not saying that's the only route. And for those who don't want to do that route, Paulie, let's talk about some mid-tier action.
Yeah, so you got Chris Paddock, who should be popular. This is probably a decent spot for him. Seattle's been good with the bats, but I would envision he gets himself right in this spot at home. Good pitcher park, weak offense. They're already talking about trading their first baseman, and I think Chris Paddock gets right here. He'll probably be very popular. I think Sean Manaea is actually viable. Texas has like a 25% swing strike and strikeout rate against lefties. I don't think he's that good, but I do think this is a good spot for him. In the new pitching-friendly Texas with the ugly lineup that they've been bringing out lately. He's too expensive. That's really it in the mid-tier that I'm really interested in.
I agree. There's just not a lot that I really love in the mid-tier, and I don't have anything different to bring other than what you brought, man. I think Paddock should be the popular mid-tier choice, and rightfully so. I think his numbers this year aren't as great as we were hoping it would be in the second year in the league, but they're good enough at his price, and also it's Seattle. However, Seattle has not been striking out as much lately as people I think maybe thinks at times, and they've been hot lately. So also some more risk, which makes me again feel like maybe I'm more comfortable just grabbing two guys up top. I do think Sean Manaea is definitely viable, despite Sean Manaea not being great. He did have a pretty good outing against Arizona, despite him not being great, and despite me not believing he's that great of a pitcher. His xFIP is solid. Swinging strike rate's around almost 11, just under 11, which is solid. Strikeout rate is decent. So is he a guy that I would pay $10K for right now? Hell no. But he's a guy that I would pay this price for, as an SP2 at least on DraftKings. I'm not coming down here on FanDuel. On FanDuel, I'm staying up top. I'm picking one of those guys up top. They're just too good. But on DraftKings, we got to pick two. If you want to get some bats, you may have to make some sacrifices. You may have to do some dirty, dirty things. And it doesn't get too much dirtier than Sean Manaea. Got him against the Rangers, like you said, Paulie. They strike out a ton, especially against lefties. This park is proven to be pitcher-friendly when that roof is closed, which I believe it is closed again today. And that's it for the mid-tier. Are there any value options or guys that you consider value options?
Yeah, it's scary, but I think you can try Marco Gonzalez against the Padres. I've used them against the Dodgers, and it's worked. The Padres are not as intimidating of a lineup as the Dodgers, but they've been hotter. But he seems to do well against some of those heavy-hitting offenses. Hits them with that gangster slow shit, breaking shit, and it works. I think you could take a stab at is Jose Quintana got any pitch limits or any shit like that? We don't know, right?
I don't know. Jose
I think
Quintana.
you could take a stab at Quintana against Detroit.
Quintana. No, I think Tyler Chatwood is pitching. No, was there just a scratch or something?
Yeah, they must have scratched his ass.
You got me straight tripping.
Or was it Chatwood who got scratched?
Well, somebody got scratched in this bitch. I'll check our Slack feed to see if there's anything.
I got both of them in my model here. I just realized.
Holla at a PM. Holla at a PM. I mean, as far as I know, Chatwood, I don't think I've heard anything.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, maybe that's just a glitch in the main
error.
So as Marco Gonzalez.
Yeah, I totally get it. He's like you said, man. You pitched him against the Dodgers. You pitched him in some pretty tight spots, and he manages to just escape despite having like a 7% swinging strike rate. I think the cheapest guy I'll consider today is Kyle Gibson. He really hasn't looked good this year. His swinging strike rate's down, strikeout numbers are down. Everything just kind of looks blah. But we did mention, for the same reasons as Sean and I, we did mention that this park has been better for pitching. And also the A's, man. Unfortunately, as much as we love them, they've been striking out a ton. They're still among the league leaders in strikeouts. Just like yesterday, both pitchers ended up doing well. It was like a 3-2 game, and it was a pitcher's duel. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a little bit more of the same. So I don't love Gibson. Again, I prefer to go up there and grab the ceilings today, personally. But if there was, I'll have a couple shares just for those teams that, I want to get dirty with the bats and spend up. But I'm with you, bro. Like, again, the top tier, we can go on and on about guys. There were probably a couple guys we even missed. You can make a case for Turnbull against the Cubs, who've been striking out a ton. There's plenty of cases to be made, but I prefer the guys up tip top. With that said, Paulie, what about the bits?
Yes. So I think there's something wrong with Giolito. I'm going to use some Pirate stacks against him. I like the park for offense, and I don't think the White Sox bullpen is all that great, although I'm really just going off of last year's numbers. I'm not sure how they've done this year. Cheap stack here that I think has upside. Frazier, Reynolds, Bell, Polanco, Riddle, to jam in 2 good pitchers because we don't really like much very cheap and still get maybe like a nice 3-man. I do like Pittsburgh, and, I told you guys about the White Sox when the season started. This is going to be a GPP winning offense. Just like the Yankees, anytime this team takes on a lefty, we are going to use them. So I like the bats in this game on both sides. I like the Dodgers against Cueto. He's had 2 good starts against him this year. I don't think he gets a third. I think we load up on the lefties, Seager, Bellinger, Muncy. You want to grab Turner or Betts, that's cool. Don't forget about Peterson down there at the bottom, and I don't even mind Pollock. What else did I have? Oh, St. Louis against the Dark Knight. I'm sure you're going to touch on that. Not much needs to be said. They seem to be waking up, and this is the best matchup that they will have had to date. Colorado. This kid Young's been, hard to figure out. Really not too impressive in the numbers, but effective, to a degree. Looks like he's going to struggle versus righties. I saw Story get off with a home run last night. Arenado, Matt Kemp. You could play some Blackman if he does crack the lineup tonight. He did get scratched yesterday, and if not, that should open up some other value like Brendan Rodgers or Garrett Hampson. Like the Rockies as a sneaky 5-man. And then, I've used what's his name? Dude on Texas, Kyle Gibson a little bit, and it's been brutal. I think there's something up with him. He's been sort of reverse splitsy over his last 800 or so at bats. The A's are mostly right-handed. He's going to throw them a bunch of sliders, and you got guys like Matty Chapman and Laureano and maybe Chris Davis, who was pinch hit last night. Maybe he sneaks in the lineup. He's due for some homers. Robbie Grossman's been really good so far this year. Steven Piscotty homered yesterday. I like Mark Canha, so I like the A's a little bit too, but the Dodgers, the Cardinals, the Pittsburgh, and the White Sox are kind of my primary offenses today.
Yeah, the White Sox for sure. Against Steven Brault, I mean, some of the stats of Steven Brault are just a little alarming. His swinging strike rate's really low. xFIP is not great. And this team they've been red hot. They're murking everything, lefties, righties. Pittsburgh's bullpen's been bad. This is also a downgrade in terms of pitching parks for the Pirates' whole staff. They're used to pitching out in PNC, the nice big park. It's a small park in Chicago. So I will definitely be playing the White Sox. The Cardinals. You mentioned Matt Harvey, the Dark Knight, is back in our lives. I sent you that text message this morning, and it was glorious. I didn't even realize that he actually already pitched so far this year. He's had one game this year. And it went very Dark Knight-esque, right? 3 innings, 3 earned runs, 2 homers, right? He did strike out 4. Good for him. I want to see him succeed. I do, I got love for the Dark Knight. But until I see it, we got the money. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
For sure.
So, yeah, the Cardinals, we'll take them. Not too fond of the Royals bullpen. Game is in St. Louis, which I think is a little bit better than Kansas City. Not a great hitting park, but a little better than Kansas City. In St. Louis, man, hopefully they're showing some life. Yesterday they went out there and put 9 runs. Me and you were on the fence. You kind of made the decision, yeah, fuck Keller, let's do it. And, they ended up doing pretty well on a slate where there wasn't a whole ton of offense. So I'm hoping that they start to heat up, and this is a perfect guy to kind of get hot against. After that, I'm going to throw in the Padres. I respect Marco Gonzalez, but I've already made a rule that I'm going to have Padres stacks on most slates. So I'm going to have him just because. If something happens to Marco Gonzalez, I know the Padres are a high upside team, and the Mariners have a bad bullpen. But to be honest, it's literally, and I wrote it in the article, like they're there just because they've been hot. The other 2 teams that I do like more for being contrarian and just kind of hoping to find some kind of edge is the Diamondbacks and the Rockies. And you talked about the Rockies, which is awesome. I like them both. The roof is supposed to be open again. And yesterday, not that they were crazy chalk, but the D-backs at least had some ownership to them. And I think that there's going to be a lot less focus on that game in general. There's so many games today, I think it's going to go a little overlooked. And these are 2 teams that have the upside. These are 2 teams that have bad bullpens. These are 2 teams that have one of the better hitting parks in the game when you consider it's going to be over 100 degrees and they're supposed to leave the roof open. So I'm taking my shots there with my last 2 stacks today. Game stacks separate, whatever. I will have some exposure to the Rockies and the D-backs. The other thing I like about the Rockies, and Paulie, this is the point you were making, while we may have some, depending on what they do, like Charlie Blackmon looks like he's still out, which sucks. But I did mention that this is a slate where I do want 2 really good pitchers, and the replacements we have outside of Arenado and Story are very fucking cheap. Josh Fuentes is 22-4 on DraftKings. Brendan Rodgers is 3-1 on DraftKings. Even Butera, who I'm not fond of, who I will only consider against a lefty, lucky for me, it's a lefty, is 2.4K. So I'm going to take some shots. German Marquez, obviously a pretty good pitcher. I respect him, but he does have a 43% hard contact rate, and he's playing a team that doesn't strike out much in the D-backs, one of the teams that strike out the least in the league. So I expect to see the balls put in play. And according to Marquez, when he puts it in play, it gets hit hard. He's just a good strikeout guy for the most part. But I think he's going to have his hands full. 2 bad bullpens. Let's giggity. I'll let your boy when you see me in the streets. That's it.
For sure.
That's it. That's it.
That's it. That's my...
I see some questions in the chat. Appreciate those of you guys hanging out with us. I will answer the questions right after we do the Dong Watch here. If you have any more questions, ask them in there, because once we're done with questions, we're getting out of here to build our tizemes. But we want to make sure we answer all the questions with the nation. Hit the like button, by the way. Hit the like button. Hit the like button.
That's it.
That's it. That's it. Paulie, home runs. Who you got first?
Trevor Story.
I like it. I'll go Arenado.
All right. Give me Brian Reynolds.
I like it. I do. I really do. I will go with shit. I hate them bit. Give me Fernando Tatis.
The Tatis maker.
Tatis.
All right. I'll take Jose Abreu, who's red fucking hot.
Red hot, scorching hot. I'll go with Tim Anderson. Same squad. We like a lot of the same offenses, so it's like holla at your boy. You know what I mean?
Who's gonna cover for the Cardinals?
That was funny. I was just looking at that. I think Tommy Edman's taking him deep.
Tommy Edman. Okay.
I think it's Edman.
I'll write that.
Yeah. Make a note of that. Tommy Edman. We also have 90-degree temperatures with 62% humidity out in St. Louis. But you know what, though? We always have good dew points in St. Louis. And I'll fucking stack St. Louis every day because of the dew points over there. And that's the one place that never seems to come through for me, like weather-wise. Like, you know?
You the dew points up there.
All day. AD all day. All right, question time. Frank Corona Jr. Urias is only 7,500 on FanDuel. Not really a question, more of a statement. But Frank, we love you, bro, so we're going to comment on it. Would you touch Urias at 7,500 on FanDuel?
Not on FanDuel. It's only an SP2 kind of thing for me. Like FanDuel, just play Bieber, play Cole, move on with your lives.
It's tough, man. I think, not that Urias can't go 6 innings because he has. You just really, really needed to be hyper efficient to do it. And we have a lot of really good pitchers on this slate. But and not for nothing, I don't fuck with the Giants with a lefty, man. Like I'll attack him with a righty. No problems with it. I do not like to attack him with lefties. Now, I realize that I'm taking the risk of putting my foot in my mouth because I don't have a stance on this. I'm not playing Urias. I'm not playing the Giants today. But I will say that I personally don't like to attack the Giants with lefties. They just, Wilmer Flores terrifies me. Yeah, I said it. Yehuda Blonder says top 3 GPP pitchers on DraftKings.
Yeah. Well, let's say Tyler Chatwood, Sean Manaea, and Marco Gonzalez for me for GPPs. I think it's pretty obvious Bieber and Cole are just great options no matter what.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with that. I think that part is, like you said, pretty obvious for the most part. Holla at your boy when you see him. And MG says X and both out, son. I don't know what he's talking about anymore because he said that before, and I'm looking at the statement now.
In the Giants, the Dodgers pitcher and the Giants offense.
Synonym.
X both out.
Synonym. Oh, Tony A says they both might pitch. Are we talking about the Chatwood Quintana thing?
Oh,
is there something there with that?
Yeah, maybe.
Man, I'm gonna holla because I didn't even.
Had them both, and that's confusing. It's sending me mixed messages.
Very mixed messages. We just like one consistent message.
On point with those kind of messages. Let me check their little tidbit.
Quintana was activated prior to Tuesday's game. Chatwood.
Okay.
Quintana could piggyback Tyler Chatwood in his start as he works in long relief role until he's fully stretched out. So I guess there's a possibility. So I guess the question is Chatwood on any kind of limitation?
Yeah, Chatwood going to go that deep? Probably not worth 9.1 with those kind of concerns. X his ass out. X them both out like MG the GOAT said.
It's tough, man, because they've got the nut matchup. Chatwood has the nut matchup against the Tigers. I don't see any note that he's on a pitch count, but I did see a note under Quintana saying he may piggyback. So I know Chatwood was hurt with a back injury. Maybe they plan on limiting him, and they're just not telling us to what extent. Or maybe they're just assuming the guy's going to get hurt. I don't know. How does he do it? I don't fucking know.
I don't know.
Fucking know. I mean, he hasn't pitched since August 6th, but I mean, shit. So maybe there's something to it there. I'll at your boy. MG says
Great.
Both Chicago pitchers. Yes. Tony A says yes. It's maybe. So yeah, I mean that's a tough one. That should if people know about, if people know about this, then I would assume that's going to mean Chatwood's going to be low owned. But I agree with you. We have so many good pitchers on the slate. Why take a chance with a guy that they're talking about having a piggyback starter, reliever,
Or
whatever? Feed what you need. I got the need for speed. CK, Thug Life. Tony A says it's a maybe, depends on how he does. Yeah, well, that's definitely a possibility that they're going to let Chatwood do his thing if he's on. But if Chatwood is struggling or if his back acts up, they make a switch and they're like, we got Quintana on deck. Definitely possible. So it's a tough one because I don't want to tell everybody to hop off Chatwood if they were going to play Chatwood when I don't know for sure that there's a limitation. I do think it's weird that why would you have a guy in long relief lined up behind him, like, for a guy who's been one of your best pitchers.
Yeah, but he did get hurt. He hasn't pitched in a minute. They probably want to be cautious with him, and I would say that that's not nothing to ignore. And I would lower the reins on Chatwood if you were planning on using him.
Holla holla, can't disagree. MG says throw him in a bathroom. Get him out of here. MG, we love you, bro. Another northeastern. This is phenomenal. I don't see any other questions. Paul, do you have anything in closing before we get up out of here?
Nope. You like dirty football around the corner.
That's it. Dirty season. NFL's coming. We'll be back out with the NBA show. We have content. We got projections and cheat sheets for NBA at whitestick.com. But we'll be back with the article from Paulie. We'll be back with the Y stream, all that shit for NBA tomorrow for a 3-game slate. And then, like Paulie said, we got football right around the corner. In addition to continuing this straight hot fire that we've had in MLB, so we're very excited. For Paulie D, for myself, the entire Wise Take Nation, as always, good luck.
Yeah.